You're listening to a podcast by Last Minute Crack with your host, me, Christina Hamilton. Last Minute Crack is your one-stop shop for all things arts and culture in Dublin City. For more information, check out our website at lastminutecrack.com or visit us on Instagram at lastminutecrack. A special thank you to Thibaut Cabaret for his help with the sound and for the music on this intro. Another thank you goes out to Zoe Spillane for her help managing the page. And now for your episode. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Last Minute Chats with me, your host Christina. Today we have what is going to be what I do with Emily all the time, which is sit down chat with Emily. Emily, say hello to everyone.
Hello everyone.
Hi listeners and viewers. Okay, so Emily is a good friend of mine and I'm so excited to have her on the show. She does a lot of different things and we're going to get into that, but for now let's start at the beginning. So Emily, you are an up-and-coming rising star on the comedy community, circuit industry. Where did all that come from?
So where that came from was I had originally trained as an actor in musical theatre, which in itself was probably a mistake. As in I should have just done acting, but I went into musical theatre. And then I left the industry before COVID, like before everyone jumped ship. I was like, I'm done. And so I went and did a marketing degree, and then during that time I was working as like a drama facilitator. Oh, cool. Yeah, for years that's what I did. And it's really weird because it's like, that's a creative job, right? But it took so much energy and like so much of my creative side that I actually for years didn't do that much performing. I just facilitated, which is fine. And then I went into like a tech job.
You gotta get that bag.
You gotta get that bag. But it was amazing because it like unlocked a side of my brain where it was like, I don't know, I was kind of conditioned into thinking all I could do was act. And that's all I could give the world. And then when I went and studied business, I realized that I'm like really capable human in general. And that just really emboldened me and gave me like a lot of power. But then I needed to do something. I needed something creative. And I work at home, I work remotely. And it's like, I don't know, acting, you need other people. Even improv, you need other people. Whereas like stand up, you can just get on stage and talking to a mic, which is what I do. So that's how I got into comedy. But then through that, I've kind of, grown and blossomed
like a little angel
into a new artist. And now my work has gone back into being very collaborative. Okay.
Talk to me about the first time you got up on stage for comedy. Was that very different to, like, I'm assuming it's very different to the musical theatre, or did you kind of blend it when you started off?
So that's the thing. It's like a lot of people ask me, it's like, oh, when did you start comedy? And it's kind of a loaded question because I originally started doing like improv comedy when I was 16. I was in a college group. Like they were all in college and it was in a basement on like Claremont Street. And like it was not appropriate for me to be, nothing bad happened. Like it was a good time. It was a growing learning experience. But yeah, I don't know why they let us. If a 16-year-old came up to me and was like, can I improv with you? I would say no. But different times.
But what if they are John Mulaney?
John Mulaney.
What if it's 16-year-old Nick Kroll?
Nick Kroll. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You never know.
You never know.
That I must have been given that. I must have been like, she's a star, this kid.
Give 16-year-olds in pubs a chance.
Yeah.
So it started off there and then...
So it started off there and then I kind of went to like improv and acting. And so I kind of, have fished, salmoned my way up the stream.
So it's kind of a really natural transition for you to try and just kind of... Okay, cool. But what I love about you as well, and something that you kind of have touched on already, is like that you are definitely a super creative person and like definitely are very comfortable on stage, but also you have like a very big business brain.
Yeah.
Your concepts of like marketing and stuff has been something that I've been really, really impressed with recently. Like, has that been an easy, like when you did that marketing degree, was that something you were like, okay, boom, and like add that on? Or was that something that has like kind of, I don't know, progressed over time?
Do you know what it is? I see it. I love strategy, and I think I try to come from a lot of I'd like to find a solution to a problem. I'm a problem solver.
Absolutely.
That's what I do. And so instead of coming from a point of like, I want to do this as a performer, which in some way, art should do that. You know, you can be like, I want to write this. I want to put this out in the world. I think for me, a lot of the times I come at creating events and creating spaces for the people. So I say, what do people want? And then I say, how can I give it to them? So like for me, particularly, I do a few different types of shows. But I think for Queer Note, the reason I really wanted to do that, which is, for those who don't know, it's like a cabaret that includes drag, but everything, it's like a cabaret, like everyone
it's
has
everything.
A cabaret.
It's drag. We had the last one had is it David Roper Nolan singing about a banana?
Sean Roper.
Oh,
yes,
Sean,
yes.
Sean singing about a banana. We had burlesque. We
Yeah.
have like everything.
Sexy Jesus.
We did a skit where we were Leo Varadkar and Mary Lou McDonald, and we did Jojo Siwa's Karma as a Bitch dance.
And it was never filmed. So no one will ever see it other than those 60 people who are in the room.
I think it needs to sit in like a myths state.
Right? I was sad it wasn't filmed, but then another part of me was like, it's almost like a lore.
Yeah.
It's like, were you there?
Were you there? Anyways.
So kind of the reason where that comes from is I really am big on third spaces. And like building a community. And the thing about that show is people come back. People have like, everyone's like, when's the next show on? And then like, you know, they turn up again.
Yeah.
And it's kind of building a community. And it's like, so even the burlesque, as opposed to just being burlesque, I like the idea of creating burlesque that's not for the male gaze.
Yeah.
And also like, the show is kind of based on like, examining and deconstructing gender in a really unpolitical, really not even intellectualized, honestly.
A non-judgmental space.
It's the dumbest way to look at gender. Like it's very low entry, but like expressive. And so that kind of idea of so we're building this really nice community around it, and like that's what I like the most about it, and that's why I think it's gaining traction. But you say you like my marketing. It's really funny because as someone who has a business degree, right, or a digital marketing degree, I understand that you should have one look and you should have one content and it should be all the same, and that's how you build it, and you need 3 points of recognition usually for a conversion, for the person to buy whatever you're trying to flog. But I find that extremely stifling. Even in my marketing, I like to be creative. So like if I have no consistency whatsoever of the style or the visuals, but I think when you go on anything that I post, I think you can see me in it. That's what I think anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might be completely off.
No, I think so. I think your point of recognition is your insanity.
Yeah.
But also I think it is... I think Queer Note and also Comedy Courts and Jesters, or Comedy Court Queens and Jesters, it allows people to get a little bit silly, which is something that I thought I didn't really know it was needed until I saw it, which was so smart of you to kind of pinpoint that was needed in the first place. But I found that like as we all know, if you listen to my show, which I know you do, thank you so much. But when I went to do comedy for the first time, people were kind of surprised at me because I didn't rehearse the set at all. I was like, I just have a couple of things. I'm just telling people my opinions on stuff, and let's see what they think. My other friends in the comedy scene were like, you should probably rehearse that, and like, I'm here for you. And they were so supportive. I'm here for you if you want to. Yeah, I'll go on video call and we'll do that. And I was like, the idea of me doing that in front of you makes me feel so ill. It makes me feel so like no. So but like the concept where I'm getting with this is that people take comedy so seriously here, and everybody wants to be the next big person. And it's very like, it's not that it's not, this might be a silly thing to say, but it's not difficult to be the next big person, right?
Yeah.
There's this very small pool.
I'm trying.
we're getting there. But like, you know, you can, the people that you know, like, like Justine Stafford, and like, you know, they're very, or like Kevin McGahern or somebody like that. They're all like known comedians, but you'll see them on the scene. Like they do the same things as you, and like through luck or through talent and through a combination of both, they'll get to where they need to go. But so there's such a focus on that. Whereas when you're doing comedy for comedy's sake, I think that's where you strike a chord with everybody.
And I think it's really interesting you say that, because I have like a duality in my brain as a performer. It's like I have my stand-up, which is, as you're saying, it's very disciplined, it's rehearsed, it's planned, it's timed. And that's like my stand-up. And then I have this. It's like, it's almost like an entity. And like the core like meaning behind it is just being silly. Yeah. It's so silly.
The minute you spin, you're like, and you do this, it's like, she's there.
Yeah. And it's like, I think we need that. I think we take everything, like, honestly, I don't know if you've noticed, but the world's kind of gone to shit, you know? And it's like, I think everyone, no matter where they're at, is like, you know, either, you know, the housing crisis is getting them, or like work is hard, or like whatever it is. Yeah. It's just a moment to kind of just be ridiculous and silly and see the farce of life. And
I think it's so important. But it's so interesting as well, the way like comedy has been politicized recently. Like, and I know comedy has always been political in its own ways depending on what it's doing, but at the same time, I see comedy as such an escape for things, especially when I go to your shows and stuff. It's like, oh, let me go step into silly land where people do silly things, and it's like, and then in between look really beautiful. You know, where that's so fun for me. Whereas you see the likes of like, you know, I don't even want to say them because I don't want to give them a little shout out or whatever, but like people making like, oh, comedy's got too woke, we couldn't do this these days. And it's like, what? You absolutely could do that this day. You just don't, like,
it's just how you kind of have to say it.
Yeah.
I think, you know why I think that show works as well? It's because I get people who are extremely earnest. Yeah. Like everyone who, like, so the Sean Roper who did the banana, he was singing Joanna from Sweeney Todd while singing to a banana, but he was so beautiful and so honest and sincere, and that's why it was hilarious. Like everyone is really committed to their craft, and it's almost allowing the artist to like release, like, and just let go and be like, yeah, I am really good at what I do, and now let's add a level of like silly Billy.
Yeah, and that's important for you to exist in that space as well, because I was talking to Leela last time about our friend Siobhan, who's a producer for a burlesque show, and she was saying that like Siobhan's important to her because she allows her to do stuff. So for example, she did I wish I was there. She did they did a May the 4th cabaret show, and she was Princess Leia. And apparently she was so beautiful. But that's like, she gets to do that, or she got to do the champagne act that she gets to do. Whereas you are the same kind of facilitator, if you will, where you allow people to just be their own silly selves. And like I don't think have you said no to an idea? That's a question.
Did I say I've workshopped some ideas.
Okay.
So I go, that's amazing, but what if we did it like this?
Okay. That's important.
But I do have like some rules where like just in terms of like no fire,
venue you mean venue restrictions.
Venue restrictions. Very few. I very stick to them. A lot of the time I'm like, yeah, we can make it work. Yeah. Liquid on the audience, food on the audience, anything like that. If it's between like a huge thing about what I care about is consent as well. And just making sure that there's rules and everyone's comfortable as well. Like, and navigating that as well has been really interesting because every single show I learned something as well. Yeah. And so it's like, I had DJs in. I have the DJ Weston Girls, great DJ set, shout out. And I wanted to incorporate pole, and it's a lot of liaison and being like, who's comfortable with what?
Yeah.
And coming to an agreement, because if everyone doesn't agree, then it's not good. But I've always had people come up and talk to me.
Okay.
So I think I'm doing that well. Like, because I don't want to be like, I don't want anyone ever to not come up to me and be like, I don't like this, and just sit with it. Because that's not good.
How do you recruit for your shows, out of curiosity? Or is it just like Emily and friends?
How do I recruit? No, do you know what? I really like to keep my finger on the pulse of new acts and new people, and a lot of it's through social media. People will reach out to me and I'll reach out to them. Yeah, mostly social media, actually.
Yeah. The question is, like, I wonder if there's anybody listening to this podcast who's thinking, oh, this sounds like up my alley. I'd love to either go to this or perform in this. Like, how, like, the performing one is the question. How would people, do they just DM you? Sliding those DMs?
Sliding them DMs. I honestly think as well, and this isn't just for me, but in general, I think a really good way to get involved is to go to see shows.
Absolutely.
Because it's one thing to say, I want to do this, but if you aren't, it's not as if you're not contributing, but it's like you need to be in the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely.
To kind of understand if it's for you. But I cannot tell you the amount of times that if you're just in a room and you're just giving an energy into whatever creative space it is, in whatever capacity, whether that's sitting as an audience, whether that's talking to the people after, whatever it is, like that is the best way to get involved.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. There. I agree. I think Becky Cheadle said that as well. When I was
in the room when it happened. Room when it happened.
Whereas, like, if you're not enjoying, this is my name. If you're not in this, you have to be part of the community. You know, it's not a one-person show. Like, I understand, like, that people are very invested in their craft and stuff, but, like, you know, you have to it's a group effort to get where you need to go, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't do that on your own little boat. Can we talk about something that might be a little bit taboo?
Ooh, taboo. Why did I go straight to my nipples? I was gonna go taboo.
Well, welcome to Taboo Time with Emily. Okay, so and we can cut this out.
Okay.
I want to talk about ticket sales.
Who do you fancy? Okay, no, ticket sales.
Who's your celebrity crush? Ticket sales. It's something that's very, with event organizers, and I seasoned ones, people who've been in the visit forever, people in the visits who's just like myself, the people who've just tried it once or twice. It's such a point of anxiety.
Yep.
And you've been doing pretty okay. What's the magic here?
The magic is I do a lot of I used to call it like guerrilla social media.
Yeah.
Like but I really focus on communities and building a community, and that's where I get my marketing from.
Okay.
So I do I contact lots of meetups, because a lot of people don't like going out on their own. And so they just don't go out because they don't have anyone to go out with. But if you can convince a bunch of people to come together as a group, like a mini group, then they will come. So there's an Irish dancing queer group that I invite. There is like LGBTQ plus women. They all have different names, but they're all like Q plus and like whatever it is. Or it's just whatever your project is, or whatever audience you're trying to build, you need to talk to that market. You have to know who you're marketing towards and who you want to come see the show. And then you have to find out how they're going to know about it. Because it's like, yeah, great, you have an amazing show, but if people don't know it's on, they're not going to come.
Absolutely.
So it's how do you get them to know, particularly in a day and age where the market is oversaturated online, and you're just like, oh yeah, well, it's another thing. And you can also get really comfortable. And you think, great, the algorithm's working for me. We have this, and we don't have to work. And then the algorithm can change overnight. And then you're not the favorite anymore. And you realize people aren't seeing your posts. Then what? You have to like actually build a relationship.
Yeah. Do you find advertising, like monetary advertising, helps, or do you, what do they like? Do you find the in-person reach out is the more effective, or is it a blend? How does that work for you?
It depends what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because I would say when I first started Comedy Course, and then when I first started the Queer Note, anytime I'm rebranding, basically, I think it's better to use paid social media to market your brand as opposed to pay for it for conversion of ticket sales, because there's very little click-through rate. Say I spent €10, I might have a click-through rate of 4. And then from that, you can't guarantee, you can't track what it is. Yeah. So it depends what you wanted to do.
Okay, fair. That was really good.
Yeah.
Business.
It's not all laughs here. Yeah.
There's thoughts behind this.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, what? Sorry, I'm just like, my marketing brain is exploding here. I'm like, that's so smart. That's so smart. That's so smart. So where are we going? So you recently joined up with the Hysteria crew for Queer Note Cabaret. Or is it part of Queer? Is it quite?
Yeah.
Oh no, for Baby.
Queer Note Glitter Cabaret, and then I originally came on with Baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then is Queer Note underneath Hysteria now?
Queer Note is under, pretty much everything I do is under Hysteria, because I think it's really nice just to be part of a collective, because while everything I do, I kind of do run myself necessarily. It's just nice to have backup and to be like, this situation happened, or like I need someone on ticket doors, and just like as a friend group and as a community, it's just, I'm very like, I need community.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, I mean, you put the Q in community.
Oh, is there a Q? I'm dyslexic.
That's not a Q. I was making an LGBTQ joke.
Community.
Cut this out. Cancel. No, but where I'm trying to get to is like, you've had like quite a lot of like big jumps in the last like short amount of time. So like going from the basement of the International, which no disrespect, it's a great space, to main stage in Chennai is a big jump in a very short amount of time. What do you attribute that to, aside from hard work and charisma?
Uniqueness, nerve, and talent. What do I contribute to?
Or how can other people do the same is the question, I guess.
You know what it is? I would say I have been in this business a long ass time. I first did my first show in 1999, before there was child laws. Child protection laws. I did all the working hours. Anyway, the thing is that I have put on shows and I have done a lot of things. I produced and all this kind of things, and I had a lot of transferable skills into what I'm doing now. So I think there's always learning curves. You always learn stuff as you go, but I think I already had some of them already. And I do think I was prepared and prepped to go. Yeah. And I just believe in myself. I'm like, I know I can do it, and then I do it. Yeah. But then also maybe luck. I don't know, actually. I think luck. Well, maybe luck. Who knows?
I think you, if I can give you my opinion.
What's your opinion?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to say that, like, even though you have like succeeded in quite a short amount of time, it is important to say that it might look short, but that was a lot of years of like build up to that. So it's not something that's come overnight for you at all, even though it might kind of look that way to a person who follows you on social media, because the big jumps are something you can see. The hard work in the background is something people don't see. Yeah. And that's important to say. I think also you absolutely have a self-belief that I think is important for people to do. And I said this to T last night when we were having the idea that I told you about, that you might find out about later. I don't know. Blue's Clues?
I'm like the soundboard.
Womp womp. I said to T, I was like, I wish I could come up with good ideas and everybody else do them for me. Because it's so much work to do a show. Yeah. It's so much work. You have to deal with the people who are doing the show, as nice as they may be. Like, there's things that come up with that. The venues have specific rules, so you have to try and figure that out. Ticket sales just does your head in. Like, it's just, there's so many things that like really, really, really are actually incredibly stressful. Yeah. But you kind of take that in your stride. You just seem to really enjoy this process.
Yeah, I don't know, like, because people, a lot of the time, people are like, when are you going to burn out? Like, because like, I just have so much going on in my life, like even externally from performing, I have just like so much shit, but it's like, I love it though. Yeah. I love it. And I don't know, and I haven't been burnt out. If it happens, it happens. But
it'll be, I'll be covering it. It'll be a world exclusive.
Yeah, I'll be like, Emily's finally reached burnout.
She's gone up in flames.
The feel of its human combustion. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's a lot of work. I think that's the thing, right? Some people are really good performers, and some people are really good directors, and some people are really good producers. And I think I'm very good at producing and performing. So it's like a mix of the two.
You're a jack of all trades.
A master of none.
Of most.
Actually, of a digital marketing degree. Literal master.
Okay, so we're coming up to the end of the show in a bit.
Okay.
I want to talk, where's the future for Emily Bradley? Where are we looking at? Where are we going?
Oh, where are we going? We are continuing in comedy. We're working in rooms we want to work in. We're not doing shows we don't want to do.
Good.
We are. Why am I talking? I feel like I should say I.
Me and my friends.
I want to continue to make shows that bring community together and foster community and are just a lot of fun. And I also want to, I have like a few stuff coming up in the Fringe.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a busy bee in the Fringe.
Oh.
Very busy. That might be when I break down. So having that mixture between kind of like creative art and maybe pushing the boundaries of things. I want to bring that back a little bit into my life as well, which I am currently doing.
Amazing. Okay, cool. All right. Important things. First of all, we love plugs on this show.
Yes.
So I wanted you
to
plug.
Where's the second?
This. She's a comedian, guys. She's a comedian.
Oh God.
That was not. Like, that does
not the tagline.
That does not show the quality. I promise it's better. I want you to shout out some people that really inspire you in the space, and then I want you to plug your stuff.
Okay. Do you know who I love? Aoife.
You can't say me. Oh, fine.
Oh well, Aoife with English with Aoife.
Oh yes.
I really love her because she does this amazing thing. I've only ever done one show with her. I'm like a bit too obsessed with her. She's gonna be like, "Why are you calling me out?" She does this amazing thing where she is hilarious. She's really true to herself and like very vulnerable. And like a big journey that I'm going on at the moment is allowing myself to be vulnerable, because for like a huge part of my 20s, I was like told to have no feelings and to just be like, get through it and white knuckle your way through. And that destroys you artistically. Like I was never as good as an actor. I would have done anything I do now. I think if you want to make great art, you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And it's scary. But so that's why I really like her, because I don't know how to do it on social media, but she does. And when you do that, you open yourself up to like a lot of people's opinions, and she's just so fearless with it. Wow. And she's funny.
I don't think I've met her. I've seen her on Instagram. Yeah. And I would love to after that. Yeah. Please hit me up. Would love to be your friend now. Yeah, and okay, time for plugs. Shameless plugs. What's happening?
Okay. Follow me on Emily Bradley Comedy, where I post about my comedy. Queer Note Cabaret. Sorry, Queer Note Glitter Cabaret is my show. It's called Queer. Can we ramble into this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so it's called Queer because it's like queer involving the whole spectrum of the community. But it's not just LGBT. The concept of queer is it's just anything other than the normal binary. Or it's anything just a little bit odd, and everyone has that queerness inside them. So, and then glitter cabarets, because I can make anything shine.
Yeah.
I will take that sequence that's just at the end of your bag for no reason, and I will turn it into gold. And so that's the idea with that show. And then it's on the 18th of May, so come see it. And then what I do, Baby, which is a non-binary stand-up show. So if you are at home and if you ever wanted to get involved, like that's a really nice space, because a lot of spaces are terrible. And then I do a podcast with Blohin de Burka called Date Night. So there's like a lot of different things, but yeah, Emily Bradley Comedy is like where
they all converge.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, Emily. I could sit down here and talk to you all day. I love you so much. You're one of my favorite friends.
I love you.
This is it. We're gonna have to end the show because we're gonna tell each other how much we love each other. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much to Music Maker for letting us in this beautiful space. We will be with you again soon. Have a great week. Bye.